How he loves me, Jesus loves me. This I know, for the Bible tells me so. That's enough to him. They are weak, but he is strong. Oh yes, Jesus loves me. Oh yes, Jesus loves me.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City, and now on FM translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City.
WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We have gospel.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel, 88.7, 100.3 FM. Have gospel. This broadcast has been brought to you by the Hawks Family Businesses, who have been serving our community for over 30 years. And also Beacon Hall, who's been turning moments into memories. And also Kingdom Academy Daycare Center CEO Grace Crump Holly. Thank you so much for sponsoring In the Community with Dr. Thelma. It's a beautiful day outside. Saturday is beautiful today, so go outside. The parks are open today. And make sure that the playgrounds are open. The park's been open, but the playgrounds are open today, and you can go out and celebrate and just enjoy the beautiful sunshine. I do want to open up with my condolences for the senseless murder of George Floyd. I watched it, and I tell you, I couldn't watch it. I watched it like 2 times, and then it done something to my spirit. It was hard to look at. It was hard to look at. Before you seen stuff, but it wasn't really, you didn't have all of the pieces. But this was just straight out from the beginning to the end. And I'm praying for him, and that there will be a peace in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that justice will be done for George Floyd, and that people will be calm down, because it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot of emotions, and I just didn't even know how to feel. I couldn't even watch it again. I couldn't watch it again. And I noticed I was watching CNN last night, and the governor was on from Minnesota, and it was brought up that there were a lot of groups who came in, white supremacists, the drug cartels, and it was to kind of take away from the original, why they were protesting in the very beginning, and it was because of the senseless murder of George Floyd. May his life never be forgotten, and that people will, more awareness and reform will come, so we won't have this in the future. Well, we will hope not that history will not repeat itself. I was talking to Jared Thomas this morning, and I have to give him credit for this quote. It is more easy to see the fire than to see the person who struck the match, to find the person who struck the match. So everybody's looking at the fire, but this is something that's been out of control for some time, and people are tired and fed up, and they're very angry and they want something done. So maybe his life will help produce reform in the way that it should be. So may he rest in peace, and may continual awareness for our young and older black men be kept in the forefront. It could have happened to anybody. It really could have happened to anybody. And but it happened to him, and may his life, may legislation come out of this to support men, and that this will never happen or won't happen as often as it does happen. I do have a few announcements today. One, the Kingdom Advancement Ministries is going to be having a hot lunch, a food giveaway hot lunch, and it's going to be from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. On 6 Cates Road and Atlas Lot. That's in Mays Landing, while supplies last. And I think it's nice that all of ministries and organizations are finding ways to give during this pandemic. And I think it's wonderful. I really, really do. Celeste Fernandez had a beautiful food giveaway in Pleasantville on yesterday. People are just doing a whole lot of things, and I really think that that's great. Just a few announcements. June 15th, reopening child care centers will reopen. Also on June the 22nd, non-contact organization sports will be allowed. And July 6th, the youth camps will be open on July 6th. And you can find all this out on the governor's page, COVID-19. He's daily giving updates on what's being open in our area or in our state. The Mays Landing Hometown Celebration, which I look forward to every year, has been canceled for June for this year and has been rescheduled for June 26, 21, and on Main Street, hometown Main Street in Mays Landing. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody next year in Mays Landing on Main Street for the hometown celebration. So that has been rescheduled. A lot of things it's Pentecost Sunday. It's Pentecost Sunday on tomorrow, and it was 40 days after the crucifixion. After the crucifixion is Pentecost Sunday, and so that celebration will be tomorrow. And many people were following the lead of our governor, Phil Murphy, along with the scientists. We're going to have church online. Some will be in the parking lot. You're allowed 25 people in the parking lot. You're still allowed 10 people inside a facility, and or inside the church or places of worship. But it's going to be great tomorrow. We're still going to celebrate. And as I said, at my church, the church is not closed. We're still open. The church has never closed during the pandemic. We're just not in the actual building yet, because it's paramount important that the safety of the congregants and the people that worship in the various houses of worship be maintained until this pandemic is flatten the curve. It's not easy. It's very difficult. I've been in church since I was 5 years old. Our parents had brought us up in the house of the Lord. So it's a part of my life, is what we do. But I always still had a relationship with God, and I still prayed even when I wasn't in the church. But now we had to do different things. We had to go online for services. We Zoom by on Sunday school. We're doing different things in order to stay in contact until this is over. I certainly do not want to be non-compliant and someone come in and shut us down because we're not listening. Okay, so we want to use wisdom. And Bishop Blake gave a statement. Bishop T.D. Jakes gave a statement. Bishop Eric Figueroa gave a statement. The bishop from the Catholic Church gave a statement. and they want everyone to remain safe, especially the oldest. Listen to this.
For all that you have done to slow and stop the spread of COVID-19 in the United States. Wearing a cloth face covering while in public is an important practice to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Evidence suggests that the virus can spread before people show symptoms, and from people who have the virus but never show symptoms. Me wearing a cloth face covering protects you, and you wearing a cloth face covering protects me. Many items you may have in your home can be used to create a face covering. Your cloth face covering should reach above your nose and below your chin, like this, to cover your mouth and nostrils. It should fit snugly against your face at the sides. Be made of multiple layers of fabric so you can still breathe through it, and be able to launder and machine dry without damaging the material or shape. And importantly, remember to keep the N95 mask available for healthcare workers and first responders. Thank you to the American people for all you've done to protect, especially those who are most vulnerable of COVID-19. We are a resilient nation, and we will emerge from this pandemic together stronger.
Now that was a message from the CDC, from the medical doctor, telling people what they need to do in order to be safe. And my sister is in the studio with me, and she put it on, as he was saying, over the nose and below the chin is the proper way to wear a mask. All right, so if you got it hanging down under the nose, which I have done, that's improper. Okay, so when you're out in public, put the mask on, do the social distancing, as he says, and continue to wash your hands. Continue to wash your hands. I think that that's important. We're going to have this is a great show on today, because the show we're going to be talking about is how children are dealing and coping in COVID-19. And I think a lot of times when we go through things in life, we sometimes forget about the children. Not intentional, but we don't remember that they're going through too. You know, things have changed. You know, people are at home, the kids are at home, and now the parents have become the teachers, the daycare, except if you was essential. Now you got the kids all day, and before they were out in school, so that gave you a few hours, you know. And now you don't have that. Now you are feeding the cafeteria, and although some of the schools are providing lunches for those who are free and reduced lunch. And when our guest comes on, Mr. Grosser, in a few minutes, and we're going to be talking about those who have free and reduced lunch will be getting an EBT card. If you're not on food stamps or SNAP, you're going to be getting a EBT card, and they're going to put $400 per child on the EBT card for you to use per month. So we're going to talk more about that, and because that's one of the things for children with free and reduced lunch that's going on nationwide, and especially in the state of New Jersey. So they're doing a great job. You know, it's frustrating. You know, you want your business open, and you want to go back to church. You want your life to return back to normal. You know, I don't think it'll ever be the same, but I do believe that we will get to a place of a normalcy as much as we can. That's what I really believe that. But you want to do what's right. You can't, you know, talk order and be out of order. You know, we can't do that. We have to show leadership in our communities. Well, people are looking to us, and they're watching what we're doing. I certainly, my parents are elderly, and a lot of our congregants are elderly, and they're more susceptible than people who are younger, you know. And thank God, although there's been some deaths in South Jersey, we haven't gotten it like North Jersey and New York and other places in the country. But one death is still too much. You know what I'm saying? If you lost a loved one, or you know someone that has COVID-19, it's not a death sentence. Everybody that gets it hasn't died. Some people have recovered. You know, you do recover, but we want to be, show sympathy and empathy to people who have lost. I have a cousin who's being funeralized on tomorrow in North Carolina. His brother died 2 weeks ago. He died. Now, he didn't have COVID-19 because he was sick, cousin Harold Vandenberg. But, you're limited to who can come to the funeral. And it's a large family, on my mom's side. And you can't even go to the funeral, and you got to watch it virtual. So that is a lot. We do have a guest that will be calling in, and she's calling in now. And so it's a wonderful show for today. Just give us a second. Good morning. Hi, Tatiana DeGrossa. Thank you for calling in on the show today.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Right, and we're going to be talking about your organization's SPAN, your advocacy, along with kids coping with how kids are coping with COVID-19. I want you to tell my listening audience a little something about yourself.
That would be great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So my name is Tatiana DeGrossa, and I'm a parent. First of all, I'm a parent of a child who has special needs. And my son is now almost 15. He's a freshman in high school. But I started my journey getting involved and learning about his unique personalities and traits and behaviors that were different from other kids when he was about 5 years old. And it took me a while to figure it out. Luckily, I was fortunate for another parent who recommended reach out to SPAN, Parent Advocacy Network. And it was about, again, 10 years ago, and I cannot tell you what a wonderful organization that is and how it changed my life. I was very fortunate to have a great relationship with them and learning everything that I needed to learn to educate myself on my son's needs and help me in my advocacy pursuits on his behalf to ensure that he was receiving the services that he needed through the school district and also those available through the other state agencies. And so I had a few years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago, an opportunity came up to join the organization, and I started as a parent group specialist and a family resource specialist with SPAN, and I have talked to hundreds of parents in Atlantic, Cape May, and Cumberland counties, helping them navigate the multiple systems, providing them with emotional support, giving them information and resources, and also providing training to help them build their capacity, skills, and knowledge to effectively advocate for their children and also all children in the school district and community. So it is my great pleasure to share my expertise and information and connect other listeners, parents, family members, caregivers to all the resources that we have to offer and guide them through this very difficult time our children are having coping with COVID-19 pandemic, and as well as families who may be struggling with finding resources or reliable information.
Absolutely. Now, you're the vice president of this organization now.
No,
I thought you was the vice president.
Oh, SPAN is a relatively small organization. There are about 60 employees, but we have 2 executive co-directors, and they have been with organization quite longer than I have.
Okay.
Deborah Jennings and Diana Oten. SPAN has multiple projects. In fact, when it started back in 1987, it started at the kitchen table. A bunch of parents, moms, who wanted their children with special needs to be included in the local community. They started their own group, and lo and behold, over 30 years later, we grew to become an organization with 20 national, regional, and state organizations. And SPAN actually has several multiple projects funded by federal and state departments.
Mm-hmm.
The project that I'm co-directing is called Start Engaging Parents of Students with Disabilities in School.
That's it. That's what I saw was the co-directing.
Yes. Start EPSD, Start Engaging Parents of Students with Disabilities in Schools. And it is a partnership between SPAN, Parent Advocacy Network, and the New Jersey Department of Education. So I have a great honor to be a parent group specialist on this project, and also a co-directing with my colleague. And we are a small project, but we cover the entire New Jersey, and we're very enthusiastic about providing parents with information, resources, and training they need to be involved in their child's education, particularly in the area of inclusion, literacy, and other supports and interventions that they need to know to be effective partners with educators, district leadership, and the community.
Absolutely. I'm so thankful for my sister, Lukila Bell, who's in the studio today, who recommended me to you, and also for Lady Parrish, my co-host, who put down different questions because the people are struggling. You know, they're now home with the kids, and they're become the teachers of the kids, and they're doing everything. You know, where they were not doing everything before. So
Sounds familiar.
how are the children coping with this? Because some kids with the special needs, it seems to me, but it may be just me, my observation, not everyone, they don't have the same services in the school district that the regular students have. Like some don't have Chromebooks and the different things of that nature. How if a person has someone that has special needs, how are they coping? What are they doing?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's we've been hearing a lot of complaints or challenges or issues parents overall in New Jersey I experienced with the access to devices or Chromebooks or network connectivity, but especially it's been difficult for families whose children receiving special education and related services. Those children have an individualized education plans when they through the school district, through the child study team in the school district, and that plan IEP actually spells out all their special education, specialized instructions, related services that they should be receiving once they're attending school. And those related services could include occupational therapy or speech and language therapy, physical therapy, behavior modifications, as well as other accommodations and modifications to their instruction. And those services are provided by trained specialists who work for the school, and a lot of students also have assistive technology devices that they use to benefit from education. So those additional services and support that they entitled to through their individualized education plans are very difficult to replicate when you're on during distance learning. You know, I try not to say homeschool because it has nothing, like the situation that we found ourselves in is not really homeschool, and it's not by choice. It's really a crisis schooling. And I'm a true believer that parents are first, their child's first teachers. But like you said, the parents are not licensed educators and not credentialed special education teachers or providers of related services, occupational therapy or speech and language therapy. So it's very difficult for families to be able to provide the same level or intensity of services. Those services their children should be receiving those services via telehealth or other means, electronic means.
So now, let me ask you this:
it's not the same as working with a trained professional. So right now, we worry very much about the regression our children with special needs may be experiencing and the extent of this regression and how it would be made up, or how would they be able to I don't want to say catch up, but recoup the loss of those skills. And for them, it would be, impossible because, the progress that they made toward their goals or skills building that now, after almost 3 months, we've seen a lot of regression, and it is a very hard question and very hard for families to really, cope with. And that's very upsetting.
Absolutely. Now I want to ask you a few things, because with parents who are experiencing this, I noticed that you have some training on your Facebook that's free, and I want to make sure that they have that information. Also, before you tell us that, I also saw on your Facebook page, SPAN Parent Advocacy Facebook page, that there will be a EBT card given out in June for people who have free and reduced lunch.
So thank you for bringing this up. Yes, SPAN has a wonderful website, SPANadvocacy.org, where we have a wealth of information and resources and training posted on our calendar. We also have a Facebook page where we post those resources again, and information and announcements about upcoming virtual events and trainings for parents. We also have a SPAN Parent Advocacy YouTube channel where we post of all our previously recorded meetings and events. Some of those events we held with the New Jersey Department of Education and invited the Director of Office of Special Education Programs, as well as Assistant Commissioner of Specialized Student Support and Services, to answer some of those pressing questions that families have around special education, but not necessarily just around special education. Those are health-related and other information pertaining to children's system of care, as well as what parents need to know regarding the paid family leave and other priority issues, including access to food or local food banks. WEHA was instrumental in sharing this information with me and other parent groups that I turnkey this information to in South Jersey. We know that South Jersey, where we're from, where we live, we have been hit really hard by the economic decline and closures of the casinos, and a lot of people out of work and struggling to meet their ends meet. So those parents or those families who needed access to information about food, daycares, and other resources, Lakila put together and shared a nice a PowerPoint with me, and we shared it with, as I said, with other parents who were able to use this information to access those resources, whether it is non-perishable goods or where there's the food distribution happening, or where you can access and sign up for emergency child care in New Jersey, where you can find or where agencies or universities or other organizations distributing gift cards towards food. So that information is currently posted on Facebook and updated daily, as well as any prior recordings to our meetings and town hall meetings or seminars are posted on YouTube for parents to access, or families to access. And again, YouTube channel is SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. And Lakila is one of the parent leaders that we're very proud to work with. She's a really amazing and passionate advocate for her own grandson and other children in the Atlantic School District. She has gone through our parent leadership development training that we did last fall and has been involved in a special education parent advisory group in Atlantic City since its inception. She's a regular at the roundtables, special education parent leadership roundtables that we put together and invite stakeholders, parents, educators, directors of special education, local faith groups, as well as family-centered or oriented organizations in the community, and come together and problem solve and share those resources. It's a pleasure working with Lakila, and to be able to network and to be able to connect with other parents. It's a lot harder when you feel isolated, frustrated, and fearful of the uncertainty. But being part of a larger community, being part of a group of like-minded parents who not only provide you with emotional support, but also help navigate difficulties, difficult situations, problem solve together. It's priceless. I'm very glad and for the invitation, Lakila. Thank you so much.
All right. Now, before you go, I just wanted you to give the contact information again before we go on the break.
Great. So SPAN, Parent Advocacy Network, our website is SPANadvocacy.org, SPANadvocacy.org. We also have a warm line. It's a toll-free number that you can call for to speak with our family resource specialist and discuss your individual concerns and issues. So that number is 1-800-654-SPAN, S-P-A-N, or 1-800-654-7726. And again, you can find us on Facebook, SPAN Parent Advocacy Network, or YouTube channel, SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. I also would be happy to share my personal information. My direct line is 609-401-9423. Again, it's 609-401-9423. You can contact me on this number or email me at tdagrosa, DAGROSA, at SPANadvocacy.org.
Thank you so much. We're getting ready for a break. And if you can hold on for a second, and then me and my sister, Miss Bell, will be on at the same time. Hold on. We'll be right back.
Now open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Takeout only, 609-350-6890. Pickups only. Delivery service coming soon. Address 201 Melrose Avenue, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Kelsey and Kim's is now open for takeout. The best Southern cuisine.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You know why I like listening to the gospel on the radio? It's easy. You turn it on, turn up the volume, and you have gospel.
Listening in the car is cool, I guess, but I'm more into listening from my computer. I just type in the website, and I have gospel.
So whether you listen to gospel on the radio, on 88.7 FM, WEHA,
or on your computer on www.wehavegospel.com,
we have gospel.
So check out our new website, wehavegospel.com.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway
Hawks
Traffic Safety
Janitorial Contractors Corp. was established in 1987 by husband and wife team William and Elaine Hawks. Our motto is a great job at a fair price. The Hawks team is skillful, customer-focused, delivering quality janitorial services that meet and exceed our clients' specific needs. Hawks Janitorial Contractors Corp. Proud sponsors of Gospel 88.7 FM. For more information, 609-484-0452.
Hey, this is Pastor Willie.
And Susan Korngut.
We want to make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 5:30 for the best show in the world.
With me and Pastor Willie, a.k.a. Dr. Love.
Side Pieces, WEHA. Check us out.
If you just tune in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma and First Lady Parrish, right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel, 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. This broadcast has been brought to you by the Hawks Family Businesses, who have been serving our community for over 30 years, and Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories, and last but not least, Kingdom Academy Daycare CEO Grace Crump Holly. Thank you so much for sponsoring me. And Tatiana, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, we just wanted you to get, and then we're going to bring Lukila on. Just that information, and you can stay on if necessary, because I saw on your page, on your Facebook page over in the morning when I was reviewing it, that there is a EBT card going out in June. Are you familiar with that?
Let me look it up. It must have been something you posted since last night that I haven't seen.
Yeah, it came on yesterday. It came on. It came on yesterday, and that it will be coming out in June. It's going to be mailed to the parents. They've already identified them through the free and reduced lunch program. You have great information. SPAN Parent Advocacy has great information on their website and on the Facebook page. I was very impressed.
That's right. Thank you so much. We try to keep it current, and not the they said, oh yes, I'm seeing this. Yeah, very good. We try to keep our families or our subscribers informed. So please do like the page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find most current and reliable information. A lot of our members also share the information besides the SPAN staff, and all of this is very useful and relevant to families right now.
Well, thank you so much for calling in on our show, and I will like your page. I think I already have. I've joined the group so I can stay informed and make sure that that information is also getting out to my listening audience and people who follow me as well.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Tatiana DeGrossa. And yeah, thank you so much for being a part of our program on today.
Have a great day.
You too. We're going to continue now talking with Lukila Bell, who happens to be my sister, but who has been such a fighter and advocate for children and her own grandson. Hello, Lukila.
Hello.
Thank you for being a part of our program, In the Community with Dr. Thelma and First Lady Parrish.
Thank you for having me.
Right. And so we wanted to talk about some of the challenges, and you've been putting, as Tatiana said, you've been making sure parents have information. Matter of fact, you tag me every day with something new or things that are out there for our listening audience. So I know that there was a program if people didn't have internet.
Yes.
And but before we talk about that, let's talk about you. What would you like to say?
Well, one of the things that I would like to say is having a good support group. I think as a guardian, I think as a parent, I think as a community leader, I think as a mother, a grandmother, and someone to serve our great community that we live in, this great state of New Jersey. I wouldn't have been able to do all these things without a good networking tool. And certainly Tatiana and SPAN has been an outstanding organization, along with a few others. I would like to mention the Heart of Surfing has been a good organization as well. And they specialize with autism and kids with special needs. Special needs is my pet peeve because I have my grandson who has different challenges. And what we do in our home, we call it superpower. Oh. We don't make him feel any different. It's just that they learn in a different manner. And also, as a grandparent, they also have a group called Atlantic Cape Family Support Organization. Now, what that organization does is supports people like myself. Because a lot of times you can get services for your children or grandchildren or foster kids or kids that you're involved in, and sometimes you don't have a support group for yourself.
That's true.
So they specialize in a group for me, and one of the tasks that I have to do, I have to find things that I have to do for myself, whether it's going out to get a manicure when the salons do open back up, whether it's just spending a day at the mall and then doing something for my lunch. A lot of times we give so much of ourselves until we don't take time for ourselves. And I think that's very important. And one of the good things is having a good support group. I mentioned the Heart of Surfing. Also, it's an organization called Ocean Inc. And you have to go to Performance Care to get services. Now, before you used to be able to call the Arts Center and call different organizations, but you have to go now through Performance Care in order to get services and stuff that you need. And I think that's outstanding.
Now, do they dial 211 or do they dial a certain organization to get the performance care?
Yes, you can dial 211.
Right.
And 211 will connect you, will give you numbers and stuff like that to call. So as a grandparent, it's been very challenging, but also rewarding at the same time, because not only that we become teachers, we become therapists, we became the psychologists, we became also having sports, because with my grandson, he was very involved in a lot of sports. He was also involved in a lot of things in the community. And I would like to take the time to say two names that went on and passed within a couple of weeks. One was Coach Texas, who worked at AC Pals. He was a great coach and inspiration on helping me, because when you're in this community, you need good male figures.
That's true.
You need good organizations to build a team. And so Coach Texas is one of those guys, a military guy, but one of those types that love the kids and took them for baseball, hockey. And then we had Mr. Rodney, who was a Boy Scout leader.
Mr. Rodney Bell.
Mr. Rodney Bell. So our hearts go out to those families, because that was a great impact, especially when you have a good male support organization and you have people in the community. And one of the things that I love is everyone's coming together. It's not just me, it's all about us coming together collectively. And because we come together collectively, we're able to accomplish a whole lot for children. Now, one of the things that I found with kids that have different disabilities, it's been overwhelming for them.
That's true.
When I say overwhelming is with the computer, now we know that kids like a lot of games. Let's be realistic.
Right.
They like to play the different games and stuff that they have. But that's been challenging as a grandparent, but it's also getting through and rewarding them for things that they are doing good for as the education.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because before, when they would come home, they had that as recreation.
Yes.
But now they're on the computer 4 to 5 hours a day trying to do schoolwork.
Right.
You know, so that's challenging.
It's challenging when they're doing schoolwork, and also my grandson is involved in some other program activities. He also does therapy as well. So you have that along with the education piece. Now, mind you, these are services that the kids need. These are services that they need, but with kids, especially with kids that have different challenges, I find that it's been somewhat a struggle. And for me to say, oh no, everything is peachy cream, then I wouldn't be telling the truth.
Right.
It's been a learning experience. And so now I'm at the point, he said to me the other day, I'm tired of talking about COVID-19. I'm tired of getting on the computer. And even though I was encouraging him and telling him that you only have a few more weeks before school is over, at that point, he said he's just tired of hearing it. He knows about washing his hands. He wears the mask. And I smiled because you want your kids to be honest. You tell your kids to be honest with you. We teach our kids to tell the truth. We teach our kids about morals.
Right.
We teach our children about serving our community. But when a child comes to you and tell you it's too much, you have to kind of adjust things. So what I did was I said, okay, you can take a break.
Right.
And once I found out that he took that break, the next day he was able to go back into his regular things that he do as far as being on the internet, listen to all the things that he had to do. But he just said, Mom, I'm tired.
And you know what? Adults are tired. So if we're tired, can't we imagine that the kids are tired too?
But I was glad that he was honest. I was glad that he was honest because Cape Atlantic has been awesome. They've been an awesome team. And the reason why I say that, because when kids go through crisis like that, they're already out of school.
Right.
And then when they don't have that extra support, sometimes it can be dramatic.
That's true.
And sometimes you have parents say, oh, everything is right. Oh, everything is good. But the reality of it is, if you don't get a grip on it, then they become statistics in our society. And these are things that we want to prevent from them being a statistics. We don't want them to be in the criminal justice system, all because we didn't take the time out. Also with this, it gave us more bonding time.
That's
Not that
true.
we didn't bond before.
That's true.
But we're playing checkers, we're playing sticks and moving sticks and concentration and laughing at the same time. I think engaging. And one of the things that I found out as being a grandparent and advocate is being open-minded.
Well, I like that you said and that you brought that up. Well, number one, you intervened when he told you it was too much. You let him have a break.
Yes.
You didn't make him stay into it. So I think that's something, good information for people out there, grandparents or parents who have the kids, and the kids get frustrated. They're tired, or they normally have a teacher that they can talk to, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And it's a different setting. People learn differently, but you gave him a break. That was wisdom.
Yes.
That was very much wisdom. And then I do like the fact that he was talking about, I find that we're home more.
Yes.
We're cooking more meals, from scratch, and eating fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that, and spending time with the family. I think that was a component that has been missing, because people have been so busy working, trying to make ends meet, that by the time you do get home, the kids are asleep. When they would wake up, they was at school, but now they're at home. You get up, you go to work, you come back, you're tired, you make dinner, you need to rest, but at least some people have been able to spend some quality time with their family members. So COVID-19, although has had a negative impact in our economy and we have lost lives, has also been positive in a way where families have come together and communities have come together as well. So I'm glad that you brought that point out.
And one of the things that I also would like to say is, I have him involved in the kitchen. If we bake cookies, I'll let him put the cookies on the tray. Another thing, I'm showing him how to budget his money.
Good.
One of the things before COVID-19, I ordered some fake money from Amazon and teaching him how to budget his money. He has his own account now with his little piggy bank. And one of the things that I teach him, if you have $5, you don't spend the whole $5.
Right.
He only spend a certain amount at the store and put it away. And what I'm teaching him is the life skills that will carry him a lifetime. I'm also teaching him how to do laundry, how to separate the clothes, your light clothes from your dark clothes. And now these days, kids want to know why. You know, when I grew up in my area, you didn't ask why.
We didn't ask why.
You just did it.
You just did because you was told to do it.
Yes. And then, and the society and the day that we live in, we have to do different techniques with the children. And I've learned over the course of the time, being involved with, and you got to want to learn. You got to want to be open-minded.
That's
you
true.
got to want to have the services, because they can have all the services out there they want, but if you don't be open-minded
and take
advantage of the service that they're giving out. I mean, it's been a great network along with Isabella, who does autism for children.
Isabel Mosca.
Yes, and one of the things that and the reason why I'm saying these different organizations, because when I network with all these organizations, I found out I wasn't by myself.
That's true.
Because a lot of times you think, you know, you do your regular job, you go home, you know, you be a good parent, you servicing your community, until you have a whole group think just like you or able to give you information that's beneficial to your family. So that's why I mentioned those organizations, because it takes a village to raise a child, and that's definitely true. And one of the things that you could do or suggest, I'm going to suggest, because our parents, you can't, you know, tell us how to raise our children.
No, because everybody has their own way.
But one of the things that I would like to suggest, we have a food bank that we're doing at our church.
That's true.
So one of the things that I got my grandson involved, he loves to be a great help. So he's been helping out, showing, you know, his community. I'm also showing him how to serve his community.
That's good.
By giving back.
You know, I like something that you said earlier. It's that you were training your grandson about budgeting. And a whole lot of grown people need to know how to budget too.
Yes.
You know, now that they feel they done got rich because someone's struggling, and now some have gotten their stimulus checks. And maybe some people said it's not enough, but it still was a help. And some people are getting extra money in unemployment. It doesn't mean that you don't save nothing and put nothing up.
That's
and
correct.
that you take all your money and go and just buy. I'm not saying people are doing this, and I'm not judging. But it doesn't mean that you go out and buy all brand new electronics and put everything else on hold. And don't pay your electric, your gas, and don't pay. Now, although they have programs available that they can't shut it off now, they can't shut off your gas or your electric because Governor Murphy signed an executive order, you're still going to have to pay. So when COVID-19 is over with, you don't want your bill to be $2,000 and then you're in the dark.
That's correct.
Because you didn't pay anything. So I think it's important that we're budgeting and we're doing. Yes, you may have to defer a car note. You may have to get with your mortgage and do, because you're not working. And a lot of people still have not got their unemployment. I know some people who have not received unemployment, who haven't received any type of income. So these food distributions are important. And then showing, taking your kids there or your grandkids there to show them how to serve.
Yes.
In the service in the community. I think that's important because a lot of these kids, and it's our fault, think that they're supposed to get it. We don't. It's our responsibility as parents and grandparents to show our young people, our kids and grandkids, how to serve.
That's correct.
You know, so that was a positive, great information that you have given out, and certainly again to Coach Texas and Rodney Bell,
yes,
who was over the Boy Scouts.
Yes,
it's a tremendous loss in our community.
Yes,
because they dealt with kids that people didn't feel like being bothered with.
That is correct. That is correct.
You know, and where people would say, stay home, I can't take it, they would bring them along.
And one of the things that I like, and the reason why I mentioned their name, is because kids with challenges, sometimes it could be a bit much.
It is.
But for them to take the time out for the kids, when you have somebody say, oh, I'm not taking them, or don't bring them, they would say, okay, they'll be underneath me. And then I show them, so they was able to show them on how to, like Mr. Rodney showed him how to do a tent, how to look at the sun and tell what time it is.
Wow.
Those are things that are precious.
Right.
And at one point, I went to the Boy Scouts so much until they ended up giving me a part-time job because I was there constantly all the time. But one of the things that I must say with my grandson, I didn't only put him in programs, but I participated in the programs.
That's good. That's good.
And participation is the key.
That's good.
Because I've also learned a wealth of information.
Right.
I didn't know how to look at the sun and tell what time it is.
I can't.
But when Mr. Rodney got done, I learned how to do it in the north from the south, which we all took that up in school. But it was just how to tie a knot, the military's style, and how to survive if he was out in the woods. And it was just a beautiful experience. And I tell you that having a great team, one of the things I could say, Mr. Moore and Mr. Gandy's been outstanding.
Yeah, Devin Moore
and Mr. Gandy been outstanding.
Yeah.
James Gandy, outstanding, and along with CHOP. And CHOP is a program that specializes on behavior children. And I didn't want to be one of those grandparents. Wait till he gets 18 or 16.
Right.
Sometimes you see things going on with your children at an early age.
True.
And I used to be in our community where we come from, you don't get help because if you went to a psychologist, you was crazy. If you did certain things, then if you got off the yellow bus, kids would pick at it. But I look at this. This is one of the best investments that I can invest in, because one of these days I'm going to close my eyes. I want to be productive in society.
Right.
I want to be, so with me taking the time to show them how to bank. Now, one of the things Christopher said, he wants to be a millionaire. You know what I did? I smiled. But as a grandmother, as a love of a grandmother, we went on YouTube and found out how to start up a kid's business. So it's other different things, avenue of, yes, you can help the kids to achieve their goals. Because if J.F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King never achieved their goals, we don't know where we would be in today's society.
Absolutely.
But we had someone to believe in them.
Absolutely. I appreciate, I'm proud of you. And I'm proud to call you my sister.
Thank you.
I saw and I see how you go out and you look for programs to make sure that your grandson is participating and he's getting the help he needs. Now, CHOPS, in case people don't know, is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. It's right here in South Jersey. You can go online and you can get information that you may need for your child. Don't wait, like you say, until they get 16 or 17 and it's out of control. If you see some issues, have it checked out.
And I think it's great to do it at an early age.
I agree.
Because a lot of times when kids go through puberty, they start the girls start calling them on the cell phone. They don't want people to see that they're getting these different type of services. So what I had to do was swallow my pride. It's not about me.
Right.
It's about him. And as he grow, I grow. And he's been a blessing in my life because I have to learn to do things in a different manner, especially when you have kids that have challenges. In our home, we call it superpowers. When they have different superpowers, you have to learn how to do different things in a different manner. And it's been awesome along with the organizations that's been out there to service. Thank you.
What would you like to leave with my listening audience for someone that was listening to this program today?
One of the things I would like for them to do is go online, look up services. You got the SPAN, you got the Heart of Surfer, you got Atlantic Cape May Family Support Organization for you as a parent. You have for autism and special needs. It's organizations that's out there that will be able and willing to help you and have open arms. And also, not to mention hockey. They have all kinds of things, activities that you can put your kids in. I ran so much until one day I was just knocked out sleep. The screen door was open and everything. Nobody bothered. I live in a very good neighborhood, but I was so tired. But just to see the smile on his face
meant so much.
That bring joy. It also brought joy to me as well.
Well, thank you for being our guest today. I do know that the 31st is the last day that you can sign up for essential child care.
Yes.
If you haven't done it by then, you're going to miss it by June 1st. So if you are an essential worker, take advantage of the programs. You don't have to pay a dime for the child care.
Not at all.
The state is paying every cent. So June 1st is the cutoff. So if you're out there and you need that child care, sign your child up, all right? Did you enjoy our program today? I know you did. I would like to thank Tatiana DeGrossa for being here on our guest, for my sister, Lukila Bell, who's doing an outstanding job in our community. We thank you. They said, Linda Pratt said, good information, Lukila. Love you, ladies. We love you too, Linda. And we love everybody. Keep continuing to support WEHA, two-time Stellar Award winning radio station, 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. Have a good day on Pentecost Sunday. On tomorrow, continue to wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. We want everyone to be safe during this pandemic. All right, again, thank you for tuning in the community with Lady Parrish and Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. See you on next week.